Welcome to r/RedditRevenge. This is a story of someone getting back at someone with revenge after being wronged. And today we have two great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story, roommate was super mean. I found out she was cheating on her assignments, and so I snitched on her. The second story, I parked my car right outside my front door, directly opposite Lady's driveway. On to the first story. After months of putting up with my roommate from hell, I got the revenge of a lifetime and screwed her over out of an F-ton of money and got her to pay rent, and life has never been sweeter. This story takes place a couple of years back. During college, I lived with several roommates. All of them were nice and we got along well, except for this one B. Let's call her Karen. If Satan and Hitler had a child, and that child had a child with Stalin and Cruella de Vil, that would be Karen for you. She's a loudmouth, stupid, egocentric B who has the face that scares the SH out of a toilet. She would never clean up after herself. She would always leave her plates and things at the spot where she last used them. I've lost count of how many times I caught her stealing my clothes without asking, and if you so much as touch her clothes, she loses her SH on you. Or her drinking our lactose-intolerant roommate's almond milk, and anytime we confronted her for drinking it, she would shrug and say, "I only had a sip. Stop being so stingy." She plays her music loud at night, invites strangers without giving any heads up. A time or two she didn't pay rent, even though her parents are filthy rich, and she's wearing Gucci and Prada SH. Karen also effing lies about everything. Even things that are not worth lying about. Like if she woke up at 7 and you ask her, she'll lie through her effing teeth and say she rose with the sunrise because she's a natural. P.S. This is something I actually heard her say to her parents while she was Skyping them. So cringy. Who the F says that? But I digress. Months we've effing put up with her. Of course, we tried to get other roommates, but unfortunately, when we all moved in everything, all documents and contracts were done in her name, so kicking her out would require a lot of effort, and most of us were busy with school and work and life happens. So we ignored as much as we can and try to move on. We are now all seniors, and in our final semesters, meaning graduation was coming, and Karen is planning a backpack trip across Europe with her friends as a graduation gift to herself. This is important, so remember this. One of our roommates and my closest friend, Sasha, has had a crush on a guy that lives down the hall. Anytime the two of them are together, Sasha and the guy keep giving each other googly eyes and blushing faces. It was so cute. Sasha is a verbal autistic person and has never dated anyone because she has a hard time with socializing and understanding social cues and subtlety, which, let's face it, that is the core of dating, especially flirting, but with a lot of encouragement from me and the final roommate Lola, we got her to ask him out. He said yes. She was so happy, you guys. She flew back into the apartment and did an hour of happy dance with her arms flailing about and an SH-eating grin on her face. Needless to say, we were all so happy. Karen caught wind of this, and it just so happens at the time she was having relationship problems. I guess her boyfriend finally realized he's dating human garbage. Not one to be outshined, Karen behind all of our backs went to the guy's place and spun lies about Sasha, saying she's a serial cheater, and even made a fake account for Sasha's so-called boyfriend. The guy never called Sasha, and eventually weeks passed by, he told us why, but then Sasha felt like the damage was done and lost interest in him. I was effing furious. This level of deery and bloody pettiness is the straw that finally broke the camel's back, and I vowed I wouldn't effing leave until I served my slice of justice. Here's another character that you must know about, Professor C. His wife 2 years ago was in a horrible car accident, and as a result is in a wheelchair. This is especially problematic because she was a stay-at-home mom that took care of their 2 special needs kids, and they have a toddler at home. Home life is a mess for him. He's running ragged between working and single-handedly is taking care of his family. The uni took pity and also feared the workload would see one of their best and most beloved teachers leave the school, struck a deal with him to help him out. Professor C was a pretty chill dude, and lots of older and current students have him on Facebook, and when his wife got into a car accident, there were like families and friends posting things like "pray for XXX" and thoughts and prayers with you guys. And his kids having special needs have never been a secret. He brings them up in his story quite often and shares a lot of articles and posts on Facebook about special needs kids, and he posts pictures of his family, etc. You have no idea how much info people put on the internet, bruh. In all of his classes, there will be quizzes and midterms. This doesn't change, but assignments you submit, and he corrects at the end of the year. This is important because our uni has zero tolerance on professors that don't constantly update the students' coursework, so that students have the chance to improve their grades. Karen, the lazy and stupid bee she is, somehow skating through his assignments, even though they require an SH ton of research and writing. I accidentally learned that one of her older friends told her that she needs only submit the paper on its due date, and only write the first 3 pages, and use a paraphrase tool for the rest of the paper, so the plagiarism software won't detect it and would think it's original material, and when the end of the year comes, submit a hard copy, but with the first pages being her actual work, and the rest being completely plagiarized, professional work. Professor C won't know because the likelihood a man as busy as him thoroughly checking the work of 120 plus students is pretty low. I grinned. A plan was beginning to formulate in my head. Oh, sweet mother of Jesus, she's going down. All semester long, I let her do this for all the 7 papers. One of them, which is a term paper that has 20% on it alone. All the while, I spied and gathered all her passcodes, social media, her student ID, everything. The end of the year came, and I compiled all of her assignments. Both the original one with the paraphrasing tools she used to circumvent plagiarism, and the one she finally handed them in. And I even made photos where there were side-to-side comparison of the assignments. This is a good start, but not enough. So one day chilling at the living room, I open a conversation about relationships. Karen is two-timing her new boyfriend and is sleeping with some other person. So I ask her questions like, don't you feel guilty for cheating? And you do realize this is wrong. And I even paraphrase my words in a way that's vague but also clear. For example, I would say, it's not fair. So many people work so hard every day to be successful, and you're here cheating and lying your way to success. Karen, narcissistic as F, would respond with snippets of I don't care and how she isn't cheating, she's only having fun, and that everyone does it, so why not her too? This is too good to be true. Even her answers are vague. It's like God put his hand on my shoulder, looked me right in the eye and said, bury this bee. And I'd be D'd if I didn't. And you probably have guessed it by now, I was recording everything. The recording plus the photos and her assignments were more than enough evidence. I sent an anonymous email to the professor, and I tell the girls that they can prep for the SH storm that's coming. 3 weeks later, results are out. She failed and lost her SH. She was screaming, crying, wailing, what a sight to see. You best believe the girls and I were laughing. She tried to talk to the professor, but he was not having it. She cried and begged for a second chance, but he said a hard no. She now has 2 options. She goes ahead and doesn't graduate with us, and takes on a whole nother semester for one measly course, or takes summer course and cancel her trip to Europe, which mind you she spent an F-ton on, something like $13,000, and I know it could have been much cheaper, but Princess Karen only wanted the best, so yeah. The next couple of weeks she spent sleepless nights because she was calling and canceling all the reservations she made, trying to get her money back. But, again, God was really out for blood that day. Because the cancellation was so close to her trip, most places refused to refund, or some charged her cancellation fees. She only managed to scrap $5.5K back together, losing $7.5K. Ouch. It's not over. Having D'ing evidence, I, with earned gusto, told her she was going to pay all the bills till we move out, which was in 2 months. Pay back for all the time she was late on payment or defaulted, and she would from now do her part of the house chores, or else I'm going to send it all to the admin and faculty dean, and she will faux show be kicked out, and all those uni years will have been for nothing. She hated it. She effing threw tantrums and cussed me out, but my God if she didn't do what she's told. She cleaned her stuff, apologized to Sasha for what she did. I forced her to come clean to her boyfriend. Didn't know the guy, but the few times I met him, he was super sweet to us, and I felt bad for the guy. I watched her actually do the dishes for the first time in like years. It was effing amazing, and I don't regret it one bit. In fact, anytime I feel sad now as an adult, I kick back my feet and reminisce, and a slow SH-eating grin draws itself upon my face. Why didn't I report her to the admin in the first place? Well, I was kinda hoping Professor C would do that on my behalf, but for reasons I have no idea, he only failed her. I'm guessing to save his own A, and didn't say SH. And while I hate Karen, I don't actually have the heart to actually expel someone from school. I know, I'm weak for it, and she did cheat, but I really don't think I can go through with it. What happened to Sasha? She and the guy never got together. She took a bit of a break, but over the summer she briefly met someone for like 2 months before they decided it isn't gonna work out. Unfortunately, I don't know what happened to her since then. Sure, we tried to keep contact, but we were both job hunting, trying to adult, and along the way lost all contact. Why did I spy? Because I need her passcodes for the assignment reports. I don't know where she stored them, and I figured better be thorough. And if you don't think you can actually get someone's passcodes in 4 months, someone that lives with you 24/7, and that you see all the time, then buddy, you need to pay attention. Half the time I saw her passcodes accidentally. Also, I recorded her because like I mentioned earlier, Karen is a serial liar. It wouldn't surprise me if she makes up some sob story to get out of punishment. I took the recording as like an extra security blanket. Lastly, I'm not, and will probably not be for the foreseeable future, be ever sorry for the blackmail. This is someone that cheated us out of our rent money, stole our clothes and food, didn't do house chores and broke my friend's heart, and was a cheating girlfriend and an overall SH person. She got everything she deserved. If anything, she should have been kicked out of uni, but I didn't go there. If y'all wanted some fairy tale story where I sat down with Karen and we had a long talk, and at the end we both came to the realization we judged each other too harshly, then yeah, no, that's not happening. The next story is, can't take 15 seconds to move your car? Alrighty. So years ago, I delivered jugs of water to homes and offices. My work truck was fairly big, probably about 35-ish feet long. I had a building I delivered to that had 8 to 10 stops in it, and was one of the few places that had a loading bay for delivery vehicles. The bay was wide enough for 2 large trucks side by side, and long enough for my truck to mostly fit, with a bit of the cab sticking out in the alleyway, not so far as to block traffic. On the other side of the alley was another building, and the dumpsters for said building. These dumpsters were in a position that it could be a little tight to get into the dock, but it was doable. This day I pull up and see a small courier car, size of a Honda Civic, pull into the bay and stop right at the entrance. This position is just enough that I can't get the angle. I need to be able to nose up to the dumpsters and back into the open spot in the loading bay. If I tried, I'd likely hit the car. Luckily for me, the driver was just getting out of the car, so as politely asked if she could back up a couple feet so I could get into the dock. Her, I'm only going to be a few minutes. Me, yes, but if you take 5 seconds, we can both do what we need to do. Her, I'll be a few minutes. Walks into the building. So I'm kinda stunned at this point. I've been in the delivery industry for almost a decade. Most other drivers get that it's a tough job, and we can all do what we need to do, and there's kinda an unwritten code even amongst competitors. So I think, well, someone hasn't heard of the right of wait. So I maneuver my truck nice and tight to the building, so as not to block the alleyway, while parking perpendicular to the loading dock entrance and blocking her car in. I start loading the first 2 or 3 cartloads into the building. She comes out and sees my truck. Her, well, isn't this cute? You need to move. Me, I'll only be a few minutes. Her, I need to go. Move your truck now. By this time, my cart is loaded, and I tell her, it's okay, I'll only be a few minutes, as I walk into the building. I got a call from my boss a few stops in going, WTF, some lady's screaming on the phone. I was like, yeah, I'll be down in a few minutes and I'll move. Haha. Once I explained the situation to our GM and my supervisor, they laughed. Best part was the truck was brand new, and so all the decals were recently applied. Well, the phone number they put on the truck was the GM's direct office number, not the reception line. After laughing, he was like, grab a heat gun and take my number off the truck. Thank you for watching. Have a nice day.